Buddy,
Hello.
happy happy Tuesday. It is February 14th. It is Valentine's Day, so thanks to this dedicated crew for carving some time out to spend with us in the South Branch. Apologies for scheduling it on the holiday. To the question in the chat, I am a married man, but A, my wife is out of town tonight, and B, this is just a recurring call. We did not realize it was going to drop on Valentine's Day when we scheduled it, and it was too late by the time it was called out. So, thank you for being a dedicated crew and on the call. If this is your first all hands call, these monthly all hand leader updates are an opportunity for us to orient the branch around updates across the organization, give some highlights to our main efforts, align around where we're going in the future, and then give some shout outs to some cool people, which is all of you. Each presenter will be sort of introducing themselves and what they're talking about. So if you have questions, ask you to drop them in the chat or hold them till the end. But please, unless you are an official presenter, be a microphone monitor, keep yourself on mute, just because there are an awful lot of you on this call. And if we get a couple people off mute, you get that weird echo effect, and that nobody likes that. So that being said, let's hop over to our agenda. This will be a full run through across the branch. So that includes a quick update on the major operations that we're currently driving on. We'll dive through each of the functional teams, move through our geographic teams, hit a moment of Zen, do some announcements, and then close with our leadership wrap. That'll probably take us the full hour, hoping to get it done in that time, but we do have a few slides to get through, so bear with us. All right, so first, just covering down on the current situation. Across the branch, still monitoring some of the effects of Winter Storm Mara. Everybody saw a number of notifications go out around mission planning for that effort. And then in the central Mississippi Valley, looking at some severe weather over the middle of the week. I know that team is positioned and ready to prepare if necessary. And then it's been dominating the news. I'm sure you guys are all tracking, but the significant earthquake in Turkey is continuing to draw a lot of overall organizational effort. So that may continue to be a sort of steering factor for the organization writ large as they look at how to plug into that event. Within the planning cell, I know Sherry was going to try to hop on. I'll give her a quick buzz to see if she was able to. I do not see her, so I will be your planning update for tonight. It has been a really busy couple of months, inordinately busy for us this early in the year. Already hit 16 mission planning teams across the branch as we've been looking at different threats that have been impacting it. The team's pushed out 6 recons, also hit 6 op boards. Currently have a few things in the active planning pipe that you guys will hear about when we get down to those teams. That includes recovery ops in Kentucky and Texas, and a third recovery operation that'll be looking to be stood up in the greater New Orleans area. Those are the major planning updates. The team is hard at work developing an MPP training plan. You guys will see that implemented at Patriot and later on throughout the year with both virtual and in-person components. But as always, looking to really build that mission planning depth. It is the core of what we do. And as you can see, that team has already been pretty busy this year, and we know there's only more coming down the pipe. That being said, I'm going to hand this over to Oscar, who's going to talk about our activities currently.
Howdy, folks. My name is Oscar. Get to serve with the South Branch Field Readiness Team. It's a great team. I'll tell you about them in a moment. Coming to you from Central Texas, where it is sunny today, but was freezing and this great crew behind me did some great work. We'll talk more about that later too. But right now, ongoing operations is 54 miles. I think I see Jared and a crew from Selma doing great, wonderful things. They're going to be wrapping it up this week. They've just done great service. And don't worry, there's plenty to do. 16 operations in planning, which leads us to the next slide, because all operations need leaders, field leaders, and that's what field readiness is about. We help you become a field leader to get ready to lead Gray Shirts in operations by developing you with opportunities and training. That's what field readiness is about. We have 4 major lines of effort. If you're interested in this world, be interested in being a mission planning team field readiness lead. Be interested in doing recon and doing advon and getting out there first. Be very interested in command and general staff and getting yourself ready and help getting others ready. And make friends. Make friends with people around you, because you never know when emergency managers, EOCs, VOADs will be reaching out to you. So since the last time we talked like this, the field readiness team has grown. You can see some great names there from some great places. Phil, Wyatt, Dave, Jessica, Darren, Tim, Jacob, all becoming part of the field readiness team. And I'll tell you why. Because you see that big nasty thing spinning around there? That's going to come. I wish it wouldn't. I really wish it wouldn't, but it has. 6 years in a row, South Branch has done a major response. And 6-7 months from now, we may be looking at something like this. So the time to train is now. The time to be ready is now. The time to join field readiness is now. There's some workshops you can sign up for and all sorts of great position-specific training, which we'll probably hear more about later. So thanks you all for being here. Be part of field readiness, and that's all I have. Drew, back to you.
Thank you, Oscar. And I will take a quick detour from our scheduled program. I didn't know if Jarrett wanted to throw anything to us from Selma. I put him on the spot. I should never do that to people.
Go ahead, mute. We'll get back. Oh, never mind. Sorry. We've lost track of time out here. No, things are great in Selma. We're on our final week of coaching Devo here in a few days. Today we've completed our last tarping job. Sawyers and Munkers are going out to wrap up everything they possibly can, leaving very little behind with what's left to do. We are in works of trying to get the demo capability out here. So hopefully here in the next few weeks, we'll see something about that moving forward. But the team's rocking it out here. We've completed over 170 work orders and going.
Incredible. Thanks, Jared. Thanks to all of you who are out there in the field right now. And thank you, Oscar, for helping prepare us to get to the field successfully in the future. That being said, you want to get out in the field. I know a team that can do it. We'll kick it over to our mobilization team.
Waiting to see if my leader is on. I don't see him on. So I'll do it. I am Derek Berg. I am the least employee currently for the South Branch mobilization team. I too am from a sunny area, but I call it home in Florida. I'm on the Gulf Coast, just north of where that evil Ian landed just a few months ago. As you can see here, and as has already been talked about, we have had a busy couple months. Showing some of the things that we've done within recons and operations, kind of some of those highlights there. So far, we've had 2,026 deployment days in South Branch so far in 2023. So that's active days that individuals have been deployed in our branch. And over half of those have been done by South Branch Gray Shirts, which is an awesome thing. Those numbers don't include Sunshine Strong, but we've had those 6 operations there that have been cranking along and will continue to go on through the end of this weekend for 54 miles. And then if you can go to the next slide, please. As Drew talked about earlier, we've got goals that we are trying to hit across TR Nation, and wanted to highlight some of the things that we are looking to do and how mobilization wants to support our gray shirts and being able to get out there and have a quality experience while they're out there. So as you look at those, take some of those tips and tricks and that you'll be able to share with new gray shirts, or that mobilization may be able to help you with. And at the bottom there, one of the big ones is people sign up and don't actually get availability or don't completely understand the mobilization process. On roll call, under the flash learnings or micro learnings, there is a mobilization for gray shirts, and that helps walk you through completely the mobilization process, and that'll allow us to get you out there as quickly as possible. We are here to support you. We want you to have a great experience in the field, and we want you to be able to get there as often as possible. With that said, I will hand it to membership, who also has the lovely joy of getting you ready to be deployable and get out in the field. So I think I'm handing it to Laura.
Hi there, everybody. This is Laura Block, otherwise known as Happy. I'm out of Raleigh, North Carolina, actually a small town called Cary next door, very tech heavy. I am one of 2 deputy membership folks. My counterpart is in Japan on a much needed break. So yes, we have goals very similar to that of mobilization. And so one of the things I'm going to point out is that the earlier and more often we reach out and touch our new members, the more likely they are to stick around and engage more. So we want to do our outreach right away, and then we want to try to make sure that they're coming to as many events as possible. Operations are the priority, but absolutely anything, be it virtual or a live event in their neighborhood, we want them involved locally as well as nationally, because those are the folks that stick around more. So below you can see our numbers, new member numbers for the years, and then the number of total deployable members versus total number of members in South Branch. I'm going to tell you that that number of 13,197 deployables is a vast overestimate because our vaccination status is something that you opt in. Not everybody is being asked that question and not everybody is answering it. So we don't really know how many people we could put out in the field tomorrow with current vaccination rules. I will also tell you that if you are a city administrator and you don't have a membership person, it behooves you to tag somebody with that as soon as possible, press gang them, whatever you got to do, because until you delegate that job to someone else, it is yours, and you will be doing the outreaches and such. The other thing is that when you hold events and people are repeatedly popping up at your events, those are the first people that you want to talk to about leadership opportunities. Of course, it's good to talk to everybody about it because it's a wonderful opportunity that really is life-changing. However, the best candidates are the ones that keep showing up. That's enough out of me. Let me hand it over to Kathleen with training.
Hey everyone, aka I go by Kathy. So I know you all can read, so I'm just gonna kind of give a little highlight. We're still looking for a 6-week runway for training events. In other words, in the system, 6 weeks out for gray shirts to be able to look at and register, so that way we can take care of our instructors and making sure we're getting those classes filled. If you know a buddy and want a class together, get 5 of you together and reach out to your training person so we can get some training out there and classes set up. We are going to be having the CNG specific in-person training coming soon. The only exception is ops, that will be virtual. And if you want to be part of this amazing team called training, please reach out. We would love to have you. And if you've always thought yourself to be an instructor and want to lead some amazing gray shirts and be an example, reach out for that too, because we're always looking for instructors. And as you can see, our DTCs coming up that we have. And then just for your reading pleasure, you can see our training numbers as far as what we have, the hours we put in, what we've trained in the gray shirts. So barring nothing else, in any questions, I'm gonna turn it over to Kenny.
Hey, y'all. Kenny Crane, South Carolina Logistics Coordinator and Trailer Boss for 643. And I guess looking at the slide, I pretty much only have to say that, yes, Logs has been seriously busy. And I think what everybody in all of Logs and South Branch has been working on right now is recovering from the demob of Sunshine Strong. That was a hard op. A lot of our equipment was hard worn and returned to us needing some serious love. And I'm really pleased to say, though, that at this time, all of our trailers are being serviced or have been serviced. All of our saws are either in the shop or back from the shop or being serviced. Nolan did an amazing job getting us all of our replacement equipment at light speed. I can't say enough how happy we are that that happened that quickly, so the trailers can be reset real fast. We're supporting all of these ops that you see, and we're basically doing all we can to get ready for the tornado and inevitable hurricane season that's coming in soon. So all I can say basically in closing is that we could always, if anybody out there is interested in the logistic track, I promise you we can find things for you to do. And with that said, I'd like to pass it over to John in finance. Hey, John.
There I go. I haven't forgot how to unmute myself. Slow learner. John DeToma from North Texas, up here by just north or south of the Oklahoma state line. And I'll be touching base on PEX and Concur for the first portion of our get together. I want to advise everybody or remind them, you need to have a Concur report, Concur account in order to get reimbursed for any expenses that you incur while participating in an operation, or at some portion, maybe some of the service projects being the same. And also required for the PEX card holders to file your expense receipts via the Concur report. So you need to get those two items set up. And when you set up your PEX account and your Concur account, the sign-ins for both have to be the same. Otherwise, you will not be able to sync your card, your PEX card, to the Concur report. And the advantage of doing that is you don't have to upload them yourself. They will automatically feed into your Concur account and your receipt library. So you need to do that. And then also that some folks don't realize that it's not only spending when you have a PEX card, you have to file those receipts to show accounting where the actual expenses were made. So that's done via the Concur report as well. Also, when you get your new PEX or a replacement PEX, some folks, for some reason, if they're not scheduled to deploy anytime soon, don't act on it. And they forget about that the card is not activated and you can't be used. So activate it firstly when you get it, then keep it in your wallet or somewhere where you won't lose it. Like some folks I knew, they put it away, and then when it was time to use it, they couldn't remember where they put it away. So keep it in your wallet more than anything, but you have to do 4 things on an activation. You'd prepare an email to pex@teamrubiconusa.org. You include the last 4 digits of the PEX card. Also your TRID number and your 4-digit expiration date of the PEX card, and then a 4-digit PIN. That's a personal identification number. Some areas, some merchants require a PIN number in order to process the card expense. So It's a PIN number of your choice. That's sent off to PEX at teamrubiconusa.org, and then they will activate your card usually the same day. So other than that, that's my section. I'm going to pass it off to Carol Harrison. And Carol, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. As John said, my name is Carol Harrison. I am the new, let's see if I can get this right, branch operations support person. So I'm finding out just how great finance is. The EMS system that we all know and love, finance uses that to work with volunteer leaders to start all of the events. And we work with those mission planning teams, all of those meetings that are involved in getting an event up and running through all of the different stages. We work with the team on getting all of those budgets and approvals in. And then the other section that we do, we are known for our finance section chief, which is part of course, the command and general staff. And we play with the numbers, make sure that all of the expenses are reported when and where they need to go, and keep management both there at the site and also national apprised as for what's going on, daily burn rates and totals and all of those numbers. On the smaller events, we can be remote, and on the larger events, we're boots on the ground. So we're out there with all the gray shirts. So if any and all of that sounds exciting to you, one of our goals, as everybody else has said, is to build our bench. So if you know someone who has attention to detail or just wants to be in the know through the beginning to the end of an op, because finance is there when it spins up to get all the numbers, and then we're the last ones in to give the final report on what all the numbers have been totaled. And we also do the demob, which leads to all of y'all putting in all of your expense reports. So if you know someone who is highly interested in that sort of thing, we would love to have you on board. So my email address is there. So have them reach out to me. We are really looking to have a great big bench by the time hurricane season hits. That's all I have. Have a good evening, and I'll pass it on to Drew to take it forward.
Thanks, Carol and John, and thanks to all of the functional heads for talking us through updates across the branch. Obviously, some pretty meaty stuff in there. If you do have additional following questions, make sure you hit them up either in the chat or in the functional posts within the team. But overall, everybody's looking for help. So if you know great people, doesn't have to be a gray shirt, but it helps if they are, get them plugged in so we can utilize their skill sets. That's to best get stuff done out in the world. Speaking of out in the world, we're going to start our geographic tour, working through the different geo areas and starting with the team down in South Texas. I believe I'm handing this to Emma.
Yes, sir. Hello, I'm Emma. I'm the South Texas Geographic Area Planner. I'm down in the Corpus Christi area where it was a fantastic, beautiful, sunny day today. Before I get into what South Texas has been up to as a team, South Texas is heartbroken. We are, as a branch, losing the one and only Mike Schenk. So he is leaving us. He's got some stuff he's pursuing up. He will begin the North Branch. So we just wanted to say thank you and farewell to Mr. Schenk while we had the opportunity. It's been a pleasure to work with you, sir. So moving on, as you can see, we've had a pretty busy January and February already. We had some tornadoes. We had 2 projects that went ISR to recon in 5 hours with 2 recon teams out the door. Early the next day from those tornadoes, we had our leadership conference at the end of January. We had the winter storm in the Austin area where they did road clearing work. The fantastic team that you see on the slide there is the same slide or the same picture that Oscar has in his background. They did some phenomenal work out there. There were 8 gray shirts that did 24 work orders and they were deployed within 18 hours. And then simultaneously, we were planning Battle X in Houston for the same storm system, where 9 shirts completed 5 work orders. We also had San Antonio doing a ramp build during this time, and San Marcos, the cache project. We set up our cache for the San Marcos area. You can see the fantastic team there. We actually got a new gray shirt out of that one too. So huge thanks to everybody that got in on those. We had a busy first month and a half of the year here. We're going to keep trucking forward. If you could go to the next slide, please. You can see some of the fun that we had at our leadership conference. It was a great few days to get together, do some good training, some good fun and games for those of you that were there. You can see in the upper left there, if you look really close, you can see a blue fuzzy object. That is the one and only Jen Nieder leading us in her now infamous game of Family Feud. And let me tell you, in person is 100% the best way to do Family Feud. And I hope that we never quit doing that. I'm going to now, if you could go to the next slide, pass it over to the one and only Ronnie Frazier for the last bit here from South Texas.
Hey, I'm Ronnie. I'm South Texas, San Antonio, Del Rio administrator. So from the conference, one of the big things that all of our metro areas are going to do is the Ronnie method, as Emma and Elizabeth coined it, which is basically just a systematic way to engage gray shirts that's tailored to each individual metro area, focusing on service projects and grab your go bags, and then sprinkled in with training events and fire mitigations throughout the year. We implemented this last year in San Antonio, and it's worked really well for us. So we're planning to expand that to the different metros in South Texas. And then also shout out to Brenda and Wendy. They had an awesome elevator pitch. So if you are able to find that on video, it was amazing. And Wendy definitely won all of our, she just definitely won our hearts over during her service dog elevator pitch. So that was awesome. And then just some quick shout outs. So we have some new leaders. So Tim Malek becoming the South Texas Geo admin. Shout out to Jesse for Laredo McAllen becoming deputy admin. And then myself for lead admin. We got Stephanie Smith from the Carolinas, who recently moved, is now the deputy admin for San Antonio. Jacob Groman, field readiness lead for San Antonio. And then Stephanie out of Austin Waco, still kind of sorting hat mode, but will either be in planning or in admin. And so next slide. Good thing it's going to Florida. Oh, no, sorry. So we just have some goals for South Texas. We're hitting our goals pretty well, but mostly focusing on engaging gray shirts throughout the metro through volunteer engagements, increasing deployable gray shirts, and then establishing connections with the emergency management community. So we look forward to hitting our goals throughout the year. Next slide. I think now it's Florida.
Hey y'all, this is Michelle Portis. I'm the South Florida Geo Planner, and I'm out of Tampa. So getting into right away, we had, since we last met, we had Go Day. We had 17 folks participate with that, and that was a joint force with Habitat for Humanity. Directly underneath that is the Assist Applied Suicide Intervention Skill Training. We had 10 people complete that course, and they learned emergency first aid to respond of at-risk person of suicide and recognizing or how to recognize signs and symptoms. The Fort Myers Golf Fundraiser, we had a volunteer go out and speak to 120 or so women at a golf league out in Legend at Fort Myers. And we were the only nonprofit that they were wanting to donate to, and they did the following week after we presented to TR. The active long-term recovery group, the LTRG, is a ongoing Team Rubicon, having representatives visit those communities to see if they can solidify or create opportunities for operations. Upcoming attractions you can see on the list, but there's also some leadership courses. G191, which is March 4th, Log Section Chief, March 11th and 12th. And then lastly, this weekend, ICS 400. Next slide.
All right, I will go ahead and take it from here. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dennis. I'm the Operations Associate for Oklahoma North Texas. We kicked off 2023 with our Go Day Service project, but a couple days prior, we received an RFA from the Serenity Veterans Village nonprofit, it's a mouthful, who constructs tiny homes for homeless veterans. Knowing that the need was for 2 veterans that were about to be released by the local VA hospital, our Gray Shirts answered the call. And this was all before Winter Storm Mara ripped through Central and East Texas. Reaching out to North Texas emergency managers, we learned of damages in 2 counties. Our MPT successfully launched a recon and learned that the damages didn't result in unmet needs that aligned with our capabilities. Of note, our newest planner, Shauna Lee, was less than a week into her newly provisioned position before she cut her teeth with this MPT. Great job, Shauna. Coming up in Oklahoma, North Texas, we have a DTC kicking off this week with a which includes a Rasco and a crawfish social, all planned within the next 10 days, with a few of our volunteer leaders attending the Oklahoma EM conference the following week. March is going to kick off with our assist training in DFW with 2 more Serenity Veteran Village service projects before mid-April. And before I close out, I want to give a hearty welcome aboard to our newest volunteer leaders. That'll be Shauna Lee and Cheyenne Beecham. So, Penny, any questions? Back to you, Drew.
Thank you, Dennis. And now we're going to kick it back to Georgia, where they've had a pretty busy couple of months as well.
That's correct, Drew. Good evening, everyone. Adam Garner. I am the Operations Associate for Alabama and Georgia. We've been a little busy down here, cleaning up from some tornadoes during Doc's holiday and 54 miles, which is still ongoing, as we talked about. Scenes, getting the mission planning running for those. Hearty Bravo Zulu to Keith Helmanen on running his first full mission planning, getting the operations up and going. And then just brought on Al Kent as the new Georgia Alabama logistics lead to replace Mike Allers. So Al is so new, I don't even think he has the provisions to be on this meeting, but welcome to him. We're happy to bring him onto the team. So I think we're going to the Carolinas next.
Thank you. This is Kathy Cook, and I'm the administrator for the Western Carolinas. And one of the things I think we're proudest of in the Carolinas this year is we're starting to get a lot more going on here. And I really want to call out the Central Carolinas under the leadership of Grant Robich. As you'll see on this slide with some of the things already happening and what's coming up, Grant and his team have really focused on trying to build relationships with complementary organizations now and holding events and socials and things like that with them so that when we are in the gray skies, we've got the relationships already built. And you can see, and this, I couldn't even do how much percent increase this is over last year because there would be too many zeros, I think. But we've got events. Fayetteville has always been doing a Habitat for Humanity build. That's been one of the most consistent things in the Carolinas. But they did the Broad River cleanup in Columbia. They've also done a gardening event in Columbia. And as you'll see coming up, they've got events in Greensville with tiny homes for veterans, chainsaw operations, additional things going on in Columbia and Fayetteville. So it's just a really big win for that team in the Central Carolinas, and we're really proud of that. If you go to the next slide, please. I want to welcome to the team, just talking about the Central Carolinas, we've got a new field readiness leader in Darren Bean. In the Western Carolinas, in Asheville, we have Davis Picklesheimer, who's also in field readiness, and John in Greensboro membership. And one of the things we want to say from the Carolinas is as we are ramping up with all of this, we have had tremendous support from our training team, who is always willing to get the trainers out there for us when we need them. Sometimes not on that notice that Kathy was just telling us we need it. We've also gotten great support from the logs team and from the finance team. We've got a lot of newer people planning these things, so having that support from everyone is super important to all of us. So thank you. And now I'll turn it over to Evan's team.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathleen. Hey, folks. I'm Evan Witt. I'm the operations associate for the beautiful geographic area of Arkansas, Louisiana, and the southern half of Mississippi. And I am based down here in New Orleans. So we are charging ahead into 2023 with local leaders across our area, putting together a schedule full of training workshops, service projects, and recovery opportunities. So we've knocked out a decent chunk considering we're only 44 days into the year. Our logs team completed the trailer inventories for Q1, replenishing the Louisiana trailer after demob from Sunshine Strong. Soon after that, we sent out 2 recon teams, one to Southwest Louisiana and the city of Ragley after their confirmed touchdown of a tornado. Upon connecting with the emergency managers and conducting windshield assessments, we determined there was no need that couldn't be met by the local community. We then sent a second recon team a few weeks later back to the Jefferson Parish in Southeast Louisiana. You may remember that this was where our Type 4 Operation Bayou Strong was back in December, where we responded to the tornadic damage and completed 30 work orders, mainly roof tarping. Well, our return has been requested by the parish, and they provided us a list of residents that are still requesting assistance. After local teams did the phone outreach to those residents and reconned those homes, we're looking to tentatively launch this 1 to 2 day operation that's going to be very tarp heavy. February 25th is the goal. So you'll see we'll also have several workshops and service projects, both completed and those in the hopper, ranging from working with our local organizations to partner with flood mitigation, to Ida recovery, to revitalizing a veteran housing facility. We do not know, we know that everyone doesn't have the opportunity to deploy to an operation, so we are actively identifying opportunities for local impact that our gray shirts can participate in. And then many of our current initiatives this quarter and the next revolve around recruitment. So building to that goal that we set last year of 1,000 new enlisted gray shirts in our geo area. Our initiatives are going to include not only reaching out to our existing but not yet deployable volunteer base, walking them through and encouraging them to get deployable, but also we're going to be jumping on external recruitment opportunities. Our teams are building relationships with local universities, technical schools, volunteer fire departments, and veteran associations to build awareness of our mission and inspire people to join our ranks. We're also coordinating with the EMs in various areas of our geo area to identify hazard mitigation operations and provide opportunities for gray shirts to build towards that local resiliency in their own communities. And then last but not least, I'd like to congratulate Eric Owens. He's stepping into the arena and taking on the new role of Arkansas State Admin. After almost 3 years in volunteer leadership, Eric has moved through the ranks, starting his TR leadership journey as Metro Admin, deploying to 14 operations, most often as Logistics Section Chief. Then he moved into State Logistics Lead and is now taking on the role of State Administrator. So super excited for Eric to take on this new challenge and build up the Arkansas leadership team and guide that state through this next chapter. So thank you, Eric. Looking forward to working with you further. And with that, I will pass the baton to Phil Ditto.
Hey guys, Phil Ditto. I am the GO Field Readiness Lead, and I'm coming from Knoxville, Tennessee, although I am always a Texan. Oh, well, we got a lot of stuff going on here in the GO, and what I'd like to really kind of highlight here is we went Operation Holler Back. We went back to Appalachian Spirit and Letcher County and did some expedient home repair. You guys can't really see it in this photo, but I like to point this out more than so. What's on here is that bridge they repaired is dedicated to Jim Case. You can see it right there in between the two lower parts there. So I think we all miss our buddy Jim, and now part of him is in Kentucky on that bridge. So really good stuff there. We're continuing to do a lot of those things. We're going to be in Letcher County and doing operations there pretty much monthly until we can kind of get those going. Otherwise, going forward, Northern Kentucky EM conferences, we got Instructor One training, socials, and we're just keeping our gray shirts engaged. All right, next slide. So what we've really been focused on is building out our team. I think everyone on our leadership team is going to go for the new Team Rubicon recruiting badge. But we've onboarded 9 leaders so far. We have 4 that are pending. We have one of our first leaders in Mississippi in a long time in North Mississippi, and Melissa Chambness. We're really excited for her to rebuild a lot of our gray shirt presence in Northern Mississippi. We also had a couple of bigger is not the right word, but some lateral movements. Matt James took over the Kentucky area admin. Brian Swanson moved over to what we're calling the River Delta area, which is West Tennessee and North Mississippi. And our own Kirby Willis is going to be taking over Central and East area admin for Tennessee as well. So we welcome all those field leaders. We're looking to get on more. So just keep your eyes open for that. Next slide. And this is just kind of where we are with the South Branch goals. Obviously, we're already 100% done with goal number 4. So, hey, we're doing good there. We continue to engage on these targets, and we look forward to just getting shit done. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to one of our amazing gray shirt leaders to get our Zen on in well-being.
Hey guys, so I've got Spider-Man on in the background in case there's some extra noise. But Wellbeing 2023, we are very excited for it. We're going to be hosting more workshops and having more Wellbeing Wednesday socials. We're also going to be working with our local metro teams. Right now, Roy and I have been talking about trying to do, well, that's because you stopped Spider-Man. I know, it's not happy for anybody. So we're going to be working on possibly doing a field day or the like, something like that with the local metro. So we're looking forward to having some fun team building things coming your way. And we are also working on how to create some how-to guides so that we have a better response for things like when a gray shirt passes away. You know, we were very happy all evening until this moment. All right, and and now for y'all's well-being moment, if you'll go to the next one, I want to encourage everyone to do some more exercising. Really little one. Because endorphins, that's all. That's well-being. There you go, Drew.
Thank you, Apri. And sorry that Spider-Man wasn't keeping the gremlins in line over there. All right. That wraps up our branch tour, taking you through all of the functions in all the geographic areas. Hopefully you guys learned a couple of things. Hopefully you saw some stuff that other geographic areas are doing that's inspired you to take that action to your state, to your city, and get some additional initiatives moving in your area. Now we're going to shift into just some announcements. First is SBLC and Patriot 2023. If you guys have been paying attention to your email, to your teams, or the last couple of calls that we've done, this should not be a surprise announcement to you, but a friendly reminder that registration is still open. It is open through Friday. If you want to join us in Hattiesburg at the end of March, please, please, please go into the invite. I will drop those links again in the recap post, but make sure you get yourself registered for SBLC and for Patriot 2023. SBLC has an awesome agenda. It will take your leadership to new heights. You will laugh, you will cry, you will learn and love with all of your friends how to be a leader in the field. And then Patriot 2023, you want realistic, grand scale training. It doesn't get any bigger than this. It is Team Rubicon, it is the National Guard, and it is state and local emergency responders from all over the country will be descending into Hattiesburg for a 9-day full-scale disaster response exercise. We're going to be running through all of our core capes. The route clearance team will be out there. We'll be doing some mission planning. We'll be doing a bunch of high-level classes. Great experiences both. Get in there and get signed up so that we can see you in Mississippi at the end of next month. A couple of other announcements from the full-time staff. We did talk about some upcoming hiring on the last couple of calls. A few of those have now closed. So we've closed our planning role, our North Florida role. This slide, I think, has actually been updated even since we made it. I believe the Carolinas have also closed. So that's 3 new hires will be starting next month. Look to see some new faces who will be stepping into the arena with us to help get shit done in 2023. But still looking to expand the team. Our mobilization full-time role is open right now. So if you have a crazy passion for working long hours and getting folks mobilized into the field, get your application in. We want the best of the best. And if that is you or someone you know, get that application in. I don't expect that to last too long. And then this is another hot off the presses update. This will probably be a surprise even to some of the full-time staff on the call. But that is our own Brittany Olson has been activated by the Guard. She has been pulled into the ongoing border mission, Operation Lone Star. So she will be out of pocket through at least the end of August. I know she is a familiar face to many, and we will miss her and wish her well while she is supporting our country and the state on that operation. I think we are close to our end. Want to make sure I take the time to thank all of you for the time that you take. Guys, the updates around the branch have been super inspiring. It's been a whirlwind start to 2023, and we haven't even hit the busy season yet. But all of the work that we're doing now is what gives us the skill sets, the resiliency, and the ability to respond when the disasters get bigger and meaner. And I know you guys will be ready. With that, I'm going to drop my slides and I'm going to hand it over to San to close us out with the leadership wrap. So San, over to you, my friend.
Thanks, brother. Hey, good evening, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day to you. I hope everyone is doing well. As you can see, man, we have an impressive calendar of events that have already taken place from the functional areas to the geo areas. I gotta say, it's good to see you, Kenny. You know, it was good to hang out with you in Griffin, Georgia. I see also a couple of other people on this that I spent some time in Alabama. But again, guys, we've been busy from Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Kentucky, and also to Florida. And so our year started off demobbing Operation Sunshine strong, and then we went into Go Day, then we went into the tornadoes, and it seems like we haven't slowed down since. But then in the midst of all of that, you guys were still doing all the functional things, whether it's leading training, leading volunteer projects, leading assist courses, leading those SOAR trainings. You guys are still doing amazing work. And it's only February. And we have some great stuff that's coming up. You know, Drew, you got me hyped up even talking about the South Branch Leadership Conference and also Patriot 23. Guys, if you're not signed up for it, man, you're going to miss some good stuff. Both events are going to be amazing. So I'm looking forward to all of those events. As you can see, 2023 goals that I put out earlier in the year. If you just look at all the presentations, you can see that we're already tapping every one of the outcomes that we had out there and that we are looking for our volunteer gray shirts, our full-time employee gray shirts are already rocking it. I want you guys to understand that anything that you're doing out there, whether it's an operation, whether it's a training, whether it's attending something for professional development, just for your personal, we appreciate everything that you guys do to enhance what we're doing with inside TR, and especially what you guys are doing inside of the South Branch. I'm going to stop because everybody's frozen on my screen. Can everybody hear me?
We still got you,
Yes.
sir.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Excellent. So I will close it out, and maybe because you guys are frozen, maybe that's the sign to me to shut up and let you guys enjoy the rest of your night. But again, I appreciate every minute of the time that you guys give to us, give to the communities that we serve. Again, I cannot wait to work alongside you guys in March. And I'm planning on heading out to Alabama again. So hopefully I run into some of you good looking people on this call then. But that's all I have. Drew, again, thanks guys for everything that you do on every given day. So take care.
All right, thank you, Son. And that concludes your February all hands. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate everybody's time and attention. I'm killing the recording. But if you have